The Apostle Paul wrote these words to a neighborhood church in Thessalonica. Listen to what he said. He said, "But since we were torn away from you, brothers, for a short time, in person, not in heart, we endeavored the more eagerly and with great desire to see you face to face." And boy, isn't that how we feel right now, to see each other face to face. Well, the good news is we're going to be able to do that. We are starting to regather for worship on our church campus this Sunday, July the 5th. But as we do so, things are going to look a little bit different. And so I wanted to go over a few things with you as you think about coming back to church beginning this coming Sunday. We all want to regather in person. We're all ready to see each other, but we want to be able to do that in a way that is wise. We want to do it in a way that meets the CDC guidelines or North Carolina State Department of Health guidelines, our government guidelines. We want to be able to do it in a way that is safe and yet provides a wonderful worship experience for everybody. So let me go over these things, and this will give you a good idea of what it's going to look like when you come on Sunday. So what is our plan? Well, we start this coming Sunday to regather for worship. Now let me say this. For those of you who are not yet ready to come back inside the church and worship inside the church, and we certainly understand that. And we want you to feel very comfortable staying at home. And we are going to continue our online streaming of our worship services so that you can continue to worship with us. So feel free to stay at home. We certainly understand, and we want you to do what you think is best for you for such a time as this. There are others who are ready to come back, and we certainly understand that, and that is why we are going to go ahead and reopen. Also, if you have any symptoms at all for this virus, or if you have been exposed to anyone, or you think you might have been exposed to anyone who has this virus, then we encourage you to stay at home. We want you to stay at home. Kind of self-isolate. Make sure that you have completely gone through the time that is allotted to know that you do not have the virus, and then feel free to come and worship with us. That is for the safety of everybody involved. So, what is it going to look like when you return this coming Sunday? Well, first of all, we are having two services. We're going to have a 9:30 a.m. service and an 11 o'clock a.m. service. The 9:30 a.m. service, we are asking that our senior adults come to that service. That is 65 years or older. We are kind of reserving that service for you. Or if you maybe are younger than that, but you have underlying health issues, but you still want to come, then we're kind of holding that service for you as well. Now, does that mean that somebody under 65 and is healthy cannot come? No, that's not what we're saying. But we're saying if you can, we would prefer you to come to the 11 o'clock service and kind of hold that early service for those who are just more vulnerable to the virus. The 11 o'clock service is for families, those again, that are less vulnerable. And so we hope that you will see the reasoning behind that. Also, we are asking you to wear masks. That is a guideline for our state right now. We want to respect our authorities. And so as you come in the sanctuary, if you do not have a mask, we will have masks there available for you. Now, there are some people who feel like that they cannot wear a mask for, a full worship service. And so we're asking you that if you cannot wear a mask for the full service, then have one on as you enter, have one on as you leave. Once you sit down, then you can take the mask off. But we prefer you to leave it on if you can. The sanctuary has been sectioned off for social distancing. You will see that. I'm going to show you a video in just a minute of what the sanctuary looks like, and you'll see that. High touch areas in the sanctuary will be cleansed between each service. So those of you that come to the 11 o'clock service, there will have been a cleansing before you actually come in the doors. Also, the restrooms in the buildings are available for you to use. We ask that you just maintain your social distance as you use them. We are asking that you also don't go in any other room in the facility, as far as like the classrooms or the offices, simply because those have been cleaned, and we are wanting to keep those cleaned until we do open those up to resume normal Sunday school. So, what will the service itself look like? Well, as you come in and sit down and we start the service, you'll notice that the service is going to be shorter than a pre-pandemic service. They will be less than an hour. Also, you'll notice there's not going to be a choir until such time as we can come back to regular activities and regular distancing. We will not have a choir. We will have a praise or a worship team that will be singing from the platform to lead us. Also, at least for the first month, there will be no congregational verbal singing. So what we're going to ask you to do is just sing with your heart as the worship team leads us. Sing with your heart, sing with your mind, but don't sing with your voice. And again, that's just for the safety of everybody around. Also, we are keeping the items that you touch to a very minimal. So you'll notice as you come into the sanctuary, there are no hymnals. There are no Bibles that are in the back of the pews. All of those have been removed. We are not going to be using bulletins. The sermon outline will be there. The only person that would have touched it will be me, and you will actually pick those up. They will not be handed to you, and they will be on the table for you to use. The offering is going to be different as well. We are no longer going to be passing the offering plates around. So if you are prepared to give your offering, what you will do is as you leave the sanctuary on the communion table in the front of the sanctuary, there will be the offering plates. You just drop your offering in there as you exit and go out the side doors. For those of you that have mobility problems and cannot use the steps and you need to go back out the front door, we'll have plates there on the table as well for you to put your offering in. Now, as you drive into the church, we are asking that you leave a parking space between you and the vehicles on both sides of you. So just, again, that's just practicing that social distance the best that we can. When you enter the sanctuary, as you will see in the video that I will show you in just a minute, there really is only one main entrance into the church, and that is through the main front doors to the building, or that is at the back of the sanctuary. These doors will be propped open so you don't have to touch them, and you will enter the sanctuary only through these doors. As you exit the sanctuary, you will go to the front of the sanctuary and exit out the side doors. Now, for those of you that have mobility problems and you're not able to use the steps on the side doors, we're going to allow you to kind of exit the sanctuary first so that you can go out the front doors and either take the wheelchair ramp down or just take those 2 steps down. And so we'll give you the opportunity to do that. Also, until further notice, there will be no nursery or children's church. So we're just asking families to worship together. And you know what? Children are not going to bother us. Bring your children, let them worship with us, let them see what it means for you to worship as adults, and just worship as a family. You will see that on one side of the sanctuary, we have every other pew that is reserved for larger families. So you'll be able to do that. Now, what about Sunday school? As of right now, we are not resuming Sunday school. And I'm hoping that we can do that in September, but that is an unknown. We really don't know when we're going to be able to resume Sunday school on a regular schedule like we did pre-pandemic. So what we are encouraging classes to do is to reserve the fellowship hall where you can practice social distance, and you can do that on Sunday afternoon. You can do that, on a weeknight. I know one class, the life class, already has it reserved for Monday evenings. But let me encourage you to do that. Or if you still don't feel comfortable doing that, then use Zoom or Google Contacts and do an online class. And because that Bible study is so important for our spiritual growth. So I want to encourage our Sunday school classes to do what you can to together, keeping that safe distance by using the fellowship hall, using online, or maybe even having an outside meeting, weather permitting, that you can do that as well. Now, let me say this. Flexibility is the key. Because there are still a lot of unknowns, we may have to, and probably will have to, make some adjustments to how the sanctuary is sectioned out, to how we kind of move people about. We may have to do that. So all I'm asking is that be patient with us, be flexible with us. This is a learning curve for all of us, and we're simply trying to do that which is best for everybody. And so if you have any thoughts or ideas, please feel free to pass those on to me. I'd love to hear those. I've already heard from some, and we've already had to make some adjustments even before we start because of that. And that is good, because you may be thinking of something that we have not thought of. So I'm excited about us being able to regather beginning this Sunday, July the 5th. I look forward to seeing those of you that feel comfortable coming and are able to come. Now I'm going to show you the video of what the sanctuary looks like, and you'll have a better idea of what to expect when you come this Sunday. Okay, the first thing that you will notice as you enter the sanctuary, as you're coming up maybe the wheelchair ramp, is the front doors will be open. And they will be held open with a greeter standing there to greet you, but will not be shaking your hands or touching you in any way. And as you enter, you will see these signs on the door that says "Enter here, exit through the sanctuary side doors." This is the only entrance into the sanctuary. And so we want you to kind of keep that in mind. And then also you'll notice as you enter the sanctuary that there are some arrows on the floor. These arrows are directional arrows that indicate which direction you are to go. And as you enter, you will notice to the left is a hand sanitation station. We actually have some on order that have not arrived yet, so temporarily we are using this table with a bottle of hand sanitizer on it. So take note of that. And then as you do that, then we'll turn around and you'll follow the arrow to this station right here. And this station is where the face masks are. And if you don't have your own face mask, then you'll be able to pick one up right here. Then after you put your face mask on, we go into the sanctuary. And you'll notice that, let me back up a little bit so you can see again the arrows. You'll notice the arrows on the floor, they're pointing toward going into the sanctuary. You'll notice the blue tape. The blue tape is marked every 6 feet. So that is your indicator of how to keep social distancing. One of the things that you'll notice as you enter the sanctuary is these blue markings, this blue tape that's on the pews. Anywhere that you see blue tape, this means that this pew is not available for seating. On facing the front of the sanctuary on the right-hand side, as you can see, every other pew does not have the blue tape, and it has a sign. And the sign says this: reserved for larger households only. So on the right-hand side, you will notice that that is reserved for those households that are larger, that have a number of kids, households that have been together through the COVID-19 pandemic. They know they're all safe. And so they can sit on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side are the pews that have been marked off. And as you can see, let me show you here. You can see wherever you see the blue tape, that means you cannot sit there. That is the no seating area. So where the blue tape is not, you are free to sit there. And as you can see, the tape is in opposite sides on each pew so that you are able to keep that social distance of 6 feet from those sitting in front of you. And it follows this same pattern all the way down through to the front of the sanctuary. So you can kind of see the idea that is taking place. As we walk toward the front of the sanctuary, you'll see 2 more arrows. These arrows point to the exit. As you leave at the end of the service, you will be able to drop your offering into the offering plates located on the communion table. And then you can either exit right or exit left. And you want to exit through the side doors of the sanctuary. Same thing going the other direction. You want to exit through that side door right there. So this gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when you enter the sanctuary. So hopefully when you come, you're obviously going to notice some changes, but now you'll be familiar with it and you'll have a better idea and you will be more comfortable in coming. And so we are really excited about it. I am looking forward to us regathering on July the 5th.